Carolina won the coin toss. They will receive. Dan Carpenter, in his second year out of Montana, getting set to kick off to Tyrell Sutton of the Carolina Panthers. And he slips, and it's taken by one of the up men. That's the tight end, Jeff King, and he takes it out to the 39-yard line. We had some rain yesterday. Field's a little slick as Jake Delhomme brings his team out. In the 4 wins, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The turnovers have been a big problem for Delhomme. It started in week 1 after last year's postseason loss.
And you look at Jake Delhomme, and really you see a guy, and everybody says, are we going to get the good Jake, or are we going to get the bad Jake? And Jake himself is aware of that. And his whole thing is to just play calm. When he does that, he's fine.
2 tight end formation for the Panthers. D'Angelo Williams picks up about 4 to the 42-yard line. Tackle made by Joey Porter, who was inactive last week but is in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, I want you to watch, and what you're going to see, the kicker slipping. Watch the plant foot right there. See, he came in on the side. Yeah, you got to get that thing down flat, you know, because, you know, I know a lot about kicking.
Yeah.
But that has to be down flat. He came in off the side and slipped, and resulted in giving him great field position.
Now, we were on the field before the game, and there was quite a bit of moisture on the grass. It's a fast surface, but a little slick.
There's the 8th coming down.
Delhomme with time. Delhomme's got a first down. That's Steve Smith across midfield. For Smith, his 39th catch of the season. Vontae Davis on the tackle. Smith was involved in a minor fender bender on the way here, but looked good on the first reception.
It doesn't matter if he has a fender bender. It doesn't matter what he has. This man might be the most competitive guy in the entire National Football League. I love this player. He comes to play every single play.
Here Jake Delhomme saying Channing Crowder is the middle linebacker as he identifies the defense. Number 52 for Miami. Williams has a cutback lane. Slips at the 41 and gets touched down by Jabril Wilson. One of the things that we'll be looking at is the offensive line with Travell Wharton moving out to the left tackle spot and Mackenzie Bernardo in at the left guard.
Yeah, and then it's all still going to come down to the interior line play. Now, you're going to see Carolina going a little bit of the hurry-up, which worked well for them last week and gave them a little bit of pace.
Fiametta and Williams in the eye. Stewart takes the handoff and checks into the ballgame, and he has a first down after a gain of 5. So Jonathan Stewart, with his first carry of the night, picks up 5 and a first down for the Panthers.
Now you want to watch inside. Here's Jason Ferguson, the big nose tackle. Ryan Khalil getting inside of him. Now, both of these running backs do a great job of pressing the hole. And what that means is getting up into the line of scrimmage, and it's really a game of patience. You're waiting for the defender to make a move before you do.
Delhomme on a 1st and 10. Plenty of time. Overshoots Smith with Vontae Davis, the rookie out of Illinois, on the coverage. Good protection, though, for Delhomme.
Good protection and a good rookie corner in Vontae Davis.
Paul Pasqualoni, the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, said, hey, this game is all about fundamentals.
Exactly right. And when he's talking fundamentals and he starts talking about pass coverage, you have to look at those 2 rookie corners. Vontae Davis, number 21, the guy you just saw. Excellent discipline. A very, very good athlete. A good tackler. And he's locking up a little bit down here with Steve Smith, and that's a tall order.
Work out of a 2 tight end set on 2nd and 10. Stewart finds a crease inside the 30 to the 27-yard line, gain of 10. Travell Wharton made a nice block on the left side.
And they're not afraid to go back to that left side. But if you're going to run on this Miami defense, you got to block this man right here, Jason Ferguson. And so what they do, they come down on the double team. Really well done by Mackenzie Bernardo. Got to get those things right.
The 250th player taken in last year's draft out of Bentley. D'Angelo Williams back in at tailback. Gets stood up and attacked at the point of attack by Randy Starks. Starks in the 6th year out of Maryland. He's 29th tackle, no gain in the play.
Yeah, I want you to watch Randy Starks, and again, we're going to be talking about Mackenzie Bernardo. Watch 94 right there. Just a quick arm over, and then the good quickness, and he's in the backfield. So no matter where you come from, you get to this level of play, you have to have a good base. And Bernardo, number 73, this is his first time at the big time here.
Steve Smith to the top of the screen. The tight end, Dante Rosario's got a first down. Crowder and Bell knock him down, but first and goal, Carolina. Gain of 20.
Nice job on that right side of clearing it out. And then Rosario just gets on that right side, and because it's so clear, and they're going a little bit of the hurry up and changing the pace a little bit, that's good football. Again, it all starts, though, Bob, with the running game. The running game and the play action off it, that's the recipe for this team.
Red zone opportunity for the Carolina Panthers. Dwayne Jarrett checks in as a third receiver. Williams, the tailback, from the 7. First and goal. DeLome bobbled and incomplete. Muhsin Muhammad, in his 14th year out of Michigan State, couldn't reel it in.
That's something you're not going to see a lot of, Muhsin Muhammad. Muhsin Muhammad has excellent hands, a big, powerful man. He's been doing it for a long, long time.
Two-time Pro Bowler. Second-round pick of Carolina in 1996. Played 9 years with the Panthers, 3 years in Chicago. Signed back last year. Second and goal, opening drive of the game for Carolina. They started at their own 38. Steve Smith dropped it with Vontae Davis right there.
Oh, I like that. I like that by Vontae Davis. He's not going to back down. Now, he just got to slow down a little bit because that other guy, he's an all-day sucker. He will be there all game. They're just going to try to smoke, and they want to get the ball into the hands of Steve Smith and let him work his magic. Jake Delhomme wasn't pleased with the placement, obviously, of the ball down too low. You got to give him a chance to work with it.
First third down attempt coming up for Carolina here in the opening possession. 6 defensive backs in for Miami. Third and goal from the 7. Delhomme under pressure, he's going to get sacked back at the 11-yard line. Meet at the quarterback. Joey Porter got in there. So Porter, who was shut out against New England 2 weeks ago, gets a sack.
Porter, number 55, you're going to watch him on the top side and also down below. Cameron Wake on Jeff Otah is going to get a good push. Just a good power rush. He collapses the pocket, really. They both got there at the same time. And both used the same technique. They came with just a power rush, used leverage, and was able to get the push.
John Casey will try a 30-yard field goal. Baker to hold. Snap is good. Back in Charlotte, the Miami Dolphins with their first offensive possession, trailing Carolina 3-0 on a Casey field goal from 29 yards out. Ricky Williams, the tailback. Lusaka Polite, the fullback, behind Chad Henne. He'll throw on first down. Teddy Ginn makes the catch, tackled by Richard Marshall after a gain of 7. Chad Henne 4-2 as a starting quarterback with the Miami Dolphins. 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. In his second year out of Michigan, a second-round draft pick from last year.
There's a lot to like about Chad Henne. And if you listen to Steve Mariucci on the pregame show, he told you a few of those things, the least of which is a very strong arm and just as strong a work ethic.
Took over after the season-ending injury to Chad Pennington. Ricky Williams on the draw. Beeson makes the tackle, but not after a gain of 5 and a first down for Miami.
You know, Bob, we mentioned that both these teams are kind of mirror images of each other. And both of them like the running game, and they like to take the play action and use that for protection and kind of protect their quarterbacks a little bit. Pat White is one of those guys whose probably role is going to have to increase here with Brown out.
Ricky Williams trying to turn it outside and gets cut down nicely by Chris Gamble, the 6th-year pro out of Ohio State.
You know, you're going to play, anytime you're going to start playing solid defense like this, your corners have to tackle. You can see now Diggs coming from the inside out and forcing everything to the outside. And Chris Gamble, the corner out of Ohio State, really nice play.
Julius Peppers has checked into the ball game for Carolina. He'll only be used in pass rushing situations because of a broken bone in his right hand. Said, I'll try to do what I can do. Camarillo in space, nice open field tackle by Marshall at the 47. Gain of 4 on the play.
Richard Marshall does the same thing on the right side that Gamble did on the top side, but first he had to work off a block. Again, it comes down to corner play, and so much in this game, as you're seeing the stretch run here, tackling and fundamentals have not been good in the league. You've really not seen good tackling. But tonight you come out right out the blocks, and both these corners make a good tackle.
Miami with a 3rd and 8. They'll spread the formation. Williams comes in motion. Now Henne wants a timeout with the play clock at 1. So big 3rd down coming up for Miami. Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, his 2nd tour of duty with Miami, one of the great innovators when it comes to offense in the NFL. 6 defensive backs for Carolina on a 3rd and 8. Henne with plenty of time. Looks middle behind Ginn. Incomplete.
Nice coverage all the way through. It's good protection. But let's take a good look at coverage cam right here. They're going to take away the inside. Looks like man under, 2 deep. But I want you to watch the slot guys. They do a good job taking. See this right here? They're going to take away the inside on both sides and force Henne to have to come back outside.
Brandon Fields on the punt. Captain Munnerlyn lets it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. 47-yard punt. Now Chad Henne trying to figure out what went wrong on that 3rd down pass play to Teddy Ginn. The ball went behind him, but Matt, there might be more to the story that we'll show.
Yeah, a lot of stuff goes on in there.
So Jake Delhomme starts from his own 20-yard line. D'Angelo Williams, the tailback. Williams trying to gain the edge and does turn the corner and picks up about 8 on the play.
And let's go back to that last 3rd down with Chad Henne standing in the pocket. Oh, we got a flag out there. Let's take a peek at what's going on.
Now referee this evening, Walt Anderson. Well, there is no flag.
They picked her up. They picked her up. There's Chad Henne. And now you get back to the defense with Jason Ferguson working the inside of that offensive line.
On 2nd down, Delhomme, Rosario. It's a 1st down across the 30. Matt Roth on the tackle. Gain of 4, 1st down, Carolina.
You know, in the pregame show, we were talking a lot about Jake Delhomme. And it's been well documented. And we said a little bit earlier in the show, you know, what Jake, is it the good Jake, is it the bad Jake, and all that stuff. We had a chance to talk to him yesterday. And it was really interesting for me because he talked so much about just being able to calm down and get in and play relaxed and not care so much. He says he cares so much that he starts to press.
And he said that, you know, the tough start for him really did affect him, and he started playing tight. You know, with the playoff game, as Jonathan Stewart carries it for a couple, he said, you know, the playoff game and then the way the season started with the interceptions, and I did get tight, and I've got to be more relaxed.
You know, and his teammates know that also. I was talking to Musa Mohammed before the game, and he said, you know, we know Jake, and we know we can read his body language. And he's a sensitive guy. He's one of those guys who lets things bother him sometimes. So I asked him what Jake walked in the locker room. He said, good Jake, he was very relaxed.
John Fox told us he's got complete faith in his quarterback. On 2nd down, Delhomme with time. Smith with the catch on the comeback route. Will spot him just short of the 1st down, gain of 7.
And that's a nice route and a well-thrown ball. And the good part of the route is you're going to see, watch Smith 89, he's going to work to the top side against Sean Smith 24. And see how he comes back to that football? And the ball is thrown to a spot. Now you come back to that spot and you pick up the yardage. It's 3rd and short.
3rd and 1 for the Panthers as Steve Smith making his presence felt early. Jonathan Stewart, the tailback. Musin Muhammad in motion. Delhomme to throw. Deep ball for Smith. Just out of his reach with Sean Smith on the coverage.
But boy, he liked that. And Steve Smith got on top of Sean Smith, the Smith brothers out there. Watch 89, get on top. See, he's got it now, just track the ball. Oh, just off the fingertips. And he knows he had him. That was a nice ball. It was a great play all the way around. Sean Smith just got run by.
Offensive coordinator Jeff Davidson told us yesterday we need to get some explosive plays. They haven't hit on those this year. Jason Baker into punt. Devon Best back deep for Miami. Short kick. Rolls inside the 20. Goes out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 45-yard punt. Jake Delhomme just missing on the home run ball to Steve Smith, but the Panthers lead it by 3 in the first. Unfamiliar spot for Julius Peppers to start a defensive series. I mean, sitting with one of the kickers, but he's got that broken right hand and going to be used in just pass rushing situations. 3-0 Carolina with 3:43 to go in the first. Dolphins' second possession from their own 14. Hanos in motion, comes set. Henny to throw. Middle of the field. Devon Best across the 30 to the 32. Gamble on the tackle, gain of 18.
Yeah, just a nice dig by Devon Best. You're going to watch. This is a really good route runner. And he just gets the corner on the backside, and it works in the middle of the field because of the play action on the front end, which bring the backers up. And then Devon Best is able to just get in that void, and it's a nicely thrown ball and a big first down.
Signed as a free agent out of Hawaii last year. And he leads the ball club with 41 catches now. Ricky Williams, some good hard running, picks up about 3.
You know, we talked to the Dolphins last night, and one of the questions I like to ask the players is who do you like to go to war with? Who's the guy you like to play with? And almost universally, they all said Lusaka Polite. And you watch him right there, they just tried to drop a safety down and come free, and Polite just met him with a very, very nice headbutt in the hole.
In his 5th year out of Pittsburgh. Henny for Williams. and he's about 1.5 yards short. John Beeson on the tackle. On the third down on the last series when Henne threw the pass incomplete, Matthews, a little more of the story.
Yeah, well, and you wondered why the ball sails to the right, and here's possibly one reason. See, Tyler Brayton got his hand up. He got a whole handful of helmet, yanked him to the side, and kind of pulled his whole shoulder to the left. And Henne, the typical tough guy that he is, just shook it off and comes right back here.
Should have been a penalty. 3rd and 2. Henne to throw again, taking a shot, but intended for the rookie Brian Hartline, too far out of bounds. Marshall on the coverage.
Bob, I got to tell you, we're talking about running the football and being conservative, and both these teams come out in 3rd down and take shots.
3rd and shorts.
3rd and shorts, and you got Carolina taking a shot with Steve Smith down the left sideline, and then 2 times here with Miami on the 3rd downs taking shots.
Good high kick by Brandon Fields. Captain Munnerlyn from his own 8. The rookie out of South Carolina fighting to gain the 15-yard line. Cameron Wake got the first hit on him. Now, Matt, again, we're going to focus in on the offensive line tonight. Jason Ferguson against Ryan Khalil.
Yeah, I want you to watch Jason Ferguson. So here's what's happened. These 2 guys right here have him and him. And the fullback then comes off the other backer. So Aiken Adele, 51, has to come down and take that center off the nose tackle. Once they do that, they're square across the board, and you got good solid defense. If you hesitate a little bit and don't come downhill, then you get the run, which you just saw.
Carolina will start from their own 14-yard line with 1:33 to go. Here in the first, Stewart gets away from Porter, and he's grabbed and brought down by Sean Smith, but good hard running by Jonathan Stewart, and he gets 7.
That's all Jonathan Stewart. And sometimes you can do everything right defensively, and then Jonathan Stewart does a little spin move on the edge, and he's up to the 2nd level. It's called hat on a hat. Everybody, now you see right there, Joey Porter jumped inside on King, the tight end, and as soon as he jumped in, that was the patience by the runner. He takes it back on the outside and gets to the edge.
Stewart shaken up. Carolina pretty balanced so far. Williams in a tailback on a 2nd and 3. D'Angelo Williams finds a lane across the 30 and knocked down at the 34-yard line. Gain of 13 for D'Angelo Williams.
And a nice job of just following his guard, number 68, Kedrick Vincent. You're going to watch him. He's going to pull around right here, and he's going to get around here, and then it's just follow the big rear end. That's what you do. Here he comes, boom, right on Adele. He's able to get to the edge and get into that next level. Well done by Vincent, and an even better job by Williams.
Channing Crowder missed the ankle tackle, and Williams was off and running.
Backer has to clear Adele.
Final play of the quarter. D'Angelo Williams this time gains but a yard. Randy Starks got the first hit. Carolina Panthers lead the Miami Dolphins 3-0 as we get set for the start of quarter number 2. John Casey field goal on the opening drive, the difference after Carolina had 1st and goal at the 7 and could not get it in on 3 pass plays. D'Angelo Williams, the tailback, 2 tight ends. On a 2nd down, Delhomme gets it away. Musa Muhammad's got it, 1st down.
And the crowd lets him know that they're happy. And this route, just a basic route. You're gonna watch Musa Muhammad on the top side, drive the defender, get him to turn his hips. Once those hips are turned, then you come back. Right there, see the hips? Start to get to the top side, and then he comes back.
The veteran receiver that he is, Matty knew just how to use his left arm for enough leverage where it's not obvious for a push-off, but to create separation.
And a nice little push off the hip, just ever so slightly, which is good veteran receiver play.
Jeff Davidson, the offensive coordinator, working over that play sheet. 1st and 10 for Delhomme. Delhomme 5 of 9 for 55 yards here in the first half. Williams dives ahead to get midfield. Channing Crowder and Joey Porter got the hit. Well, how important is this game? At least one team with a 5-5 record or worse has made the playoffs in 21 of the past 22 years. The only year it did not happen was in 2000. When you think about Tony Sparano in Miami with the Jets playing New England this weekend, you know, if the Jets were to happen to win and Miami wins tonight, Miami is just a game out.
Yeah, you got a game, and it tightens all up. And now is the time. Now is the time from here on in, man. You gotta be playing your best football.
Delhomme. Was it inbounds? No. What an effort by Steve Smith. Now the officials are going to talk it over and they'll say incomplete.
Well, he tried to toe that thing. Jake's been getting good protection, and that ball came out. You're going to watch Steve Smith down here on the bottom. He just gets on the top side. They're going to trail him underneath. Now watch, try to toe it. Oh, and does he have control? And his toes are on the ground. There's the toes. There's the control. No.
Good call by the official. And John Fox.
He's going to lose this one if he challenges it.
Going to throw the challenge flag, but not necessarily that replay. This one right here as Steve Smith, ball makes contact with his hands, toes are down. But watch here. Yep. Watch here. As the ball comes into his hands, he is going to lose control of it right there.
Complete pass.
So at that point, once he does get control, he's now out of bounds.
Correct.
But the play is under review, so we'll step aside. Steve Smith thinks he has a 12-yard reception. Matt will take another look at the play that's being challenged.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver did not maintain control of the ball when he landed out of bounds. Pass is incomplete. Carolina is charged with his first timeout.
Now watch the toes right there. He has the discipline to get him in. Right there is the catch, and then as we saw in the last replay, as he follows through, he loses the control.
Tony Sparano saying he was juggling. It was kind of neat there because we heard referee Walt Anderson give the explanation as we showed the replay that clearly showed Smith bobbling the ball as he went out of bounds and fell out of bounds before he gained control.
Well, good job officiating.
3rd and 8. Delhomme going to get sacked by Philip Merling, the second-year defensive lineman from Clemson.
Well, they brought some pressure, and they're going to bring it off the left side. You're going to see it come down below, and watch big Phil Merling working on the inside on Bernardo, and then coverage down the field. He's got to try to get out. Merling tracks him down.
Jeremiah Bell came on the safety blitz. Panthers did not allow a sack in their win last week against Atlanta. Delhomme's been sacked twice. Good high punt by Baker. Bass calls for a fair catch at the 13-yard line. 47-yard punt. Here tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina. Steve Smith and the Panthers with a 3-0 lead over Miami. They scored on their first possession. For Miami, the 3rd possession of the ball game. 2nd time they're starting inside their own 15-yard line. Hanos in motion. Ricky Williams to the 15, tackled at the 16 by Landon Johnson.
I want you to watch what the officials had to rule on, and I want you to watch right here, John Fox. He's got a bird's eye view. And this official sees it from the other side, and he waits for this official to come down, and then they will have a discussion. Now, Foxy, he was watching it the whole way. He knows it's a catch. That's why he threw the flag. But the officials did a great job of talking it through, believing each other, and getting it right.
John Fox was looking at the replays, and then he tossed it. And he went for the challenge, but after further review, Steve Smith bobbled the ball. Vernon Carey, the starting right tackle for Miami, is shaken up on the play, and the training staff out to help him out.
You know,
Nate Garner goes to right tackle. Henney on 2nd down just parks it incomplete as he got out of the tackle box. Well, they've shuffled the deck. They've brought in Justin Smiley now in at left guard for Miami, as they've had to move the offensive line around a little bit.
Yeah, and that moved around offensive line still gave him time, but it was good coverage down the field by Carolina, which made him have to dump that ball.
So they move Garner from the left guard spot to the right tackle. There's Vernon Carey, anxious to get back in. 3rd down and 7. Miami 0 for 1 between 5 and 8 yards. Over the head of Hanos and incomplete. Landon Johnson on the coverage. So Miami goes 3 and out.
Well, here's Julius Peppers working against Jake Long, working with that broken right hand. And even with a broken hand, you better believe that the Dolphins know where he's at. And they're going to make sure that he's going to get help from the inside out. You saw Smiley come over and make sure he couldn't come back to the inside.
Short punt by Brandon Fields. Captain Munnerlyn, the rookie out of South Carolina, does not field it, and it gets down at the 27-yard line. Panthers will start 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. D'Angelo Williams, the tailback. Steve Smith in motion. Delhomme the throw. Looking for the deep ball to Steve Smith, and he overshoots him. And the pass incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. D'Angelo Williams picks up 9 on the play. Jeremiah Bell came up from a safety spot to make the hit.
Well, none of this is going to happen if this offensive line isn't going to come off the ball. You see Ryan Khalil working in there, and oh, that's a nice job right there on the guard, pulling around. Bernardo, you're going to watch him right here. Look, bear down, boom, nice on Roth, 98. And then he just barrels right through there. Williams a good, tough runner, isn't he?
Certainly is. Now, the last time the Panthers had a 3rd and 1, they threw the ball. They'll run it with Jonathan Stewart hitting the backfield, but he's got the 1st down. Good hard running up to the 41-yard line. Looked like Aiken Adele had a chance to make the tackle short of the sticks.
There's D'Angelo Williams. He's the guy who's got the speed. And now they both run pretty well. They both push the hole very, very well. Interestingly, talking to him yesterday, he had to learn patience. He thought that you just get the ball and you go as fast as you can into the hole. And in this league, it doesn't work that way. The running game is about patience, offensively by the runner and defensively by the backers.
Stewart again picks up a couple to the 43-yard line.
Jonathan Stewart at 235 pounds can give you more of the power game, and he does do that. But he also has enough of the speed, of another gear rather, to be able to hit the extra gear.
D'Angelo Williams is now back in. He said in college, in order to play fast, you have to move fast. In the pros, you have to slow it down to play fast. He says it's finally kind of all coming together for him.
Well, college said it was blowing and going. Here it's slowing and going.
Musa Muhammad in motion on 2nd down. Delhomme's pass batted down at the line. But Jason Ferguson, who got his hand up and knocked it away. Ferguson in his 13th year out of Georgia. Acquired in a trade from the Cowboys once Bill Parcells came over to Miami. Former 7th-round pick of the Jets.
They're going a little quicker pace right here again.
Between 5 and 8 yards, Carolina 0 for 2 on their 3rd downs. Delhomme, middle of the field. King drops it as he got hit.
That's a good throw, too.
Reggie Torbor got the hit and separated King from the football, along with Jeremiah Bell.
Well, he had the time to be able to throw. You know, watch right there. Bernardo inside, Vincent inside. They're doing a good job of protecting them. And the ball comes out. That's got to be a catch. But good defense right there by Torbor, like you said.
So Jason Baker in the punt. Devon Best back deep for Miami. Bess from his own 10. Dives ahead to the 19-yard line. Dante Wesley got the first hit after a 46-yard punt. Ball control in favor of Carolina to this point, but it's only a 3-0 game. Vernon Carey back in at right tackle. Ricky Williams in the first Wildcat of the night, and it's a yard, and that's it.
You look at the Miami Dolphins and how often they run this formation and how often they run the Wildcat. It averages about 10.5 to 11 plays a game. And Ronnie Brown is the one who really made that thing go because he had a great feel for it. He was good on the inside, but he also posed a little bit of a throwing threat.
Pat White will see him run the option a little bit on the last play. And that Chris Harris came up from his safety spot and just shut down the edge. Henne, wide open, is Hartline, the rookie out of Ohio State. And he's got a first down and more. Gain of 36 for Miami.
Yeah, you're going to watch Hartline. He gets cleared first by Devon Bess on the inside. Watch Devon Bess. He'll take away that inside. See how the Bison's running with it. And then here comes Hartline to the outside. It's a clear throwing lane, well protected, and it's down the field for a big play.
13th catch of the season for the 4th-round draft pick. Averaging over 16 yards a catch. Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams inside the 30. And finally brought down by Sherrard Martin.
Well, you heard Marshall Faulk say before the game that Ricky Williams has to become the Ricky Williams of New Orleans. And right here, he is. This is pure power, and his weight down, it's just good speed as well. Watch him break through right there, runs right through the tackle, and then gets to that second level. That's what he was in New Orleans.
How about the block by Vernon Carey, the right tackle?
Nicely blocked up front across the board.
Hanos in motion. Lusaka Polite inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, gain of 3. Lusaka Polite in his 5th year out of Pittsburgh. You know, you got to look at Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, coming over to join John Fox after his time in Indianapolis under Tony Dungy. Said, you know, took a little bit of time for the guys to get used to me and what I was teaching and me to learn them, but he feels over the last couple of weeks it's really starting to come together.
And you could see it. I mean, you could see that they're understanding the concepts and that they're executing the defense the way it's supposed to be.
Henne on a play fake. They have a screen set up for Polite. They overthrew him. There's a flag on the field in the secondary. And I'm not sure if they're going to not get Jake Long for being downfield illegally.
Well, the fact that he was about maybe 12 yards downfield may have given you a heads up on it.
Ineligible player number 64, the offense downfield.
And Jake
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, they call on the center, Jake Grove, acquired as a free agent from Oakland this offseason.
Out of Virginia Tech, and he's really added some stability to the inside of that. You know, and centers, usually in this league, centers fall into two schools. They're usually the big physical guys or the quick guys who can get to the edge. But the common thread through all of them is they control the offensive line. They're usually the real bright guys, and you'll see them making all the calls.
2nd and 12. Lex Hilliard gets his first carry with the Miami Dolphins. Lex Hilliard has a first down. There is a flag on the play, though, in the offensive backfield, and that's in the vicinity of holding.
Holding, number 64, offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Not a good day there for, or a good series right here for Jake Grove, the center.
Tony Sperano is livid right now.
You're going to watch him sitting right in front of Chad Henne number. You're going to watch him 64. He just latches on to the outside, and they're going to call that. They're going to call that because it's right at the point. You have to get your hands from the outside and work back up inside.
So Hilliard's first career carry, a practice squad player last year, gets erased. 2nd and 22 now. Little check down to Hilliard as he makes the first catch of his career and gets walloped by Marshall and Landon Johnson.
Well, just talking to Chad, Chad Henne mentioned him also, Lex Hilliard. but also Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, he said this is a tough guy, and he's going to have to be. That's a nice hit there by Landon Johnson. But they liked what he did, you know, as a young player coming in, the way they like his practice habits. They like the way he tries to get downhill. Real bright guy, and they like what they saw in Lex Hilliard.
3rd and 16, longest third down attempt for Miami. They give it to Hilliard again, runs through a tackle. Hilliard has a first down to the 15-yard line. So they run the draw on 3rd and long, and Lex Hilliard gets 18 on his first official carry.
And there's a lot to like about this. Certainly it's a draw. A nice job right there by Garner, 75. And then Hilliard just runs through tackles. I mean, just carrying people. Watch him run right here through an arm tackle right there. It lowers his pad and keep things going.
And he carries Chris Harris for a few extra yards to set up a first down for Miami. 6 plays, 66 yards on the drive. Ricky Williams back in at tailback for the Dolphins. Hanos dropped it in the flat.
Now, if you're Tony Sperano and you're watching Lex Hilliard, it's easy for him to get excited. You can see him. He's one of those guys who's very excitable on and off. I mean, all the time. He's one of those, even when you sit and talk to him, he has to kind of keep his poise. When we're sitting here talking to him last night, because he's an excitable type of guy.
He's fun to visit with. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins.
Safety down.
Ricky Williams, not a lot of running room, gets a yard, and that's it. Tank Tyler on the tackle. Tyler in his 3rd year out of North Carolina State, picked up in a trade in Kansas City. Want to welcome those of you who are joining us on NFL.com. Welcome to NFL Network Thursday Night Football. Remember, you can log on now to NFL.com/live for enhanced coverage of tonight's game.
So on first down, the Panthers go with 4 across and they throw. And then on 2nd down, they drop the safety down and Miami runs into it.
Miami's only 3rd down conversion was the 3rd and 16 draw. Henny safe pass, Ricky Williams, touchdown. Missed tackles by the Panthers, and Ricky Williams gets his 2nd receiving touchdown of the season, and Miami has the lead. Capping an 81-yard drive.
Just a nice quick throw underneath. Henny knows exactly where he's at. They're running people off, and then he just runs right through Nile Diggs. And that's a tackle that has to be made.
So he said there's going to be a running game, and they got to be in good short yardage situations. Miami's only 2 third down conversions, a 3rd and 16 and a 3rd and 9. And just like that, they have the lead, 7-3. A Ricky Williams touchdown catch gives Miami a 7-3 lead with 3:57 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Chad Henne engineers an 81-yard drive, the 2nd longest drive of the season for Miami.
And I want you to watch right here. You're going to see Nile Diggs. He's working on the tight end. He's going to carry him for so long, and then he's going to come off of him. They're running the zone. He's trying to take it away underneath. His mistake, he needed to get a little bit more depth, and now come back inside, attack the top side shoulder, and take him to the ground. He misses it, and it's 6 quick.
Tyrell Sutton from 2 yards deep. Sutton met at the 22-yard line and dropped there.
Sutton returns the ball to the
tackle made by Charlie Anderson.
22-yard line. Panthers start 1st and 10.
All right, take a look at the scoring drive. Nine plays, 40 yards rushing, 56 yards passing, 81 yards net, 5:28 off the clock. And the big plays, the 3rd and 16 draw to Hilliard that went for 18, and then on 3rd and 9, Ricky Williams with a 14-yard touchdown catch. Delhomme has missed his last 5 passes. Ends that streak. Smith gets about a yard. Vontae Davis closes in a hurry.
Well, Vontae Davis, there's a lot to like with him. We mentioned him earlier. He's very athletic. He's got good size. But the thing that I like about him, he doesn't get intimidated by much. For a young corner, the game does not get too big for him, and the player he's playing against isn't too big for him. Steve Smith presents a lot of headaches to players in this league.
We got Smith to the left of the formation with Sean Smith in coverage. Stewart caught up in the wash, no gain on the play. So another 3rd and long for Carolina. This is their first attempt of over 9 yards. Between 5 and 8, they're 0 for 3. Delhomme under pressure, sack for the 3rd time. Joey Porter gets his 2nd of the night. Now Porter, who was inactive last week, gets the start tonight and gets his 2nd sack.
He's working. You see him number 55 right there. Then Travell Wharton. Looks like Travell Wharton maybe got tied up a little bit with the fullback right here. Fiametta right there. See that? Fiametta was trying to get back inside, and Wharton, and you can see him getting up. He's talking to him right there. Not real happy, but Joey Porter is.
Was Wharton trying to pass him off to Fiametta on the outside?
Fiametta was trying to get back to the inside. He needs to clear and let that tackle work. He's got to kick twice and get his hands on him and then take him past the quarterback.
Talking with defensive coordinator Paul Pasqualoni, his first 2-sack game of the year. He has 4.5. Inactive last week. They say it wasn't because of injury. It's a private matter, and I really have a lot of respect for Tony Sperano keeping it in-house, and Joey Porter kept it in-house, and privately was very apologetic that he put his head coach in that position. Teddy Ginn. Nope, it's taken by Devon Bess, the up man. Bess inside the 35 and run out of bounds deep in Carolina territory. See Julius Peppers starting this defensive series on the bench. 22-yard return after a 34-yard punt by Devon Bess, and Miami with a 7-3 lead. And threatening again. They'll start at the 29. Nobody open for Henne, and he gets run out of bounds by Nile Diggs. It's ruled an incomplete pass as he shoveled it forward. Smart play by Henne there to save a couple yards.
Yeah, and we talked about this on the front end of the show. He's taking baby steps, slow but sure. He just at the end, he knew he was going to get hit, so he just tossed it forward. And so, yeah, it saves him a sack, and it saves him about 3 yards. But it's just good awareness, and you can see him just getting better and better each week.
From the Panthers 29. Teddy Ginn in space, working on Gamble. Takes it inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on the play. Well, Chad Henne in the ball game, being smart with the football. 8 of 14, 94 yards. And he has the 1 touchdown. 3rd and 6 for the Dolphins between 5 and 8 yards. They're 0 for 2 tonight. They've hit on a couple 3rd and longs. Henne, what a catch by Devon Bess for a first down with Gamble all over him.
And you're right, Gamble was all over him. But Devon Bess comes down with the thing most important, the catch. Ball in his hands.
Well, the Miami Dolphins with a 7-3 lead. As you get a look at first-year offensive line coach Dave DeGuglielmo. Googe spent 5 years as an assistant line coach with the New York Giants. We got a chance to talk with him before the game. Pretty passionate fellow from North Boston.
Oh, no, he loves that old line play, and he loves this game.
No timeouts remaining. Devon Bess shaking tackles and then gets knocked down inside the 10. Damian Lewis missed a tackle. Missed tackles have been a huge problem here for Carolina.
Yeah, well, they're not alone. They're across the National Football League, but Devon Bess gives you something that you're not expecting. He can run with the ball in his hands, and he does a good job of it, too.
How about the block by Donald Thomas to come out from his right guard spot and give him some room? 2nd and 2. Henne going for the end zone for Ricky Williams. Made the catch, no signal.
That's actually good by the officials right now.
Field judge, line judge, back judge going to talk about it. Incomplete.
That is an excellent job of officiating. He wasn't sure. He went to the secondary read, and then they made the call after they huddled. That's the way you're instructed to do it. But you're going to watch Ricky Williams down that side, ball in the air, both feet have to get in.
Since we're under
There's one. No.
There's no sign of whether he got that other foot down. Now, since we're inside of 2 minutes, this would be a booth review as Williams made the catch. Can't see from that angle if the right foot ever touched down. There's got to be clear video evidence as to whether he got the second foot down.
There's
we'll get a look right here.
That's a great call.
What about the heel? What about the heel?
The shin was down before anything else.
Chad Henne thought he had a second touchdown pass. How about on 2nd and 2 and just run the wheel route to Ricky Williams?
You know what I like about that is they are giving tight coverage here. They're giving tight man coverage. They've gone 2-man down here a bunch, and they're forcing Chad Henne to have to throw it to tight windows.
Remember, there's no force out. He had the left foot down, and I think that's going to stand as incomplete. Left foot's down. He gets knocked out of bounds. His hand touches
hits.
out of bounds. That is
done.
incomplete.
Yeah. That's a great job by the officials, and that's the way mechanically how they're supposed to work. You saw the guy on the side right there, and he waited to see if somebody else had another angle. They caucused, and they made the
After reviewing
decision.
the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down for Miami with 1:14 to go here in the first half. Miami with the ball on the 9-yard line of Carolina. They need a yard. First, 3rd and 1 attempt. Ricky Williams with a blocker. Ricky Williams first down. Ricky Williams to the 1 before Sherrard Martin knocked him out. Corey Sperry, a rookie tight end, was leading the way.
This is an excellent call by Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator. I want you to watch what's going to happen. They shrink everything down inside. They see that and they anticipate it, and so the ball comes outside. They force you to have to defend the edge. Nicely blocked there, and then Ricky Williams picks up the first.
Clock stopped with Williams going out of bounds. 1:08 to go in the half. 1st and goal for Miami with a 7-3 lead. Henne just throws it away, trying to find Lusaka Polite. Got pressure from Tyler Brayton.
And that's a smart job right there by Henne. He knew exactly what he had to do. He didn't have anything. He was getting pressured. Lived for another down.
It's amazing with 1.5 yards to go how much passing we've seen. Both of these teams in short yardage throwing the ball. 1:04 to go in the half. 2nd and goal at the 1.
For me, Bob, the interesting thing is somebody had to be able to pick up the space with Ronnie Brown.
Henne's on the sideline to go a little wildcat with Ricky Williams.
And here's the answer to the space.
Williams to the outside, to the pylon. Touchdown, Miami. He's got one running and receiving, and Miami with the lead.
And the whole key to that is he had to get to the edge. He got to the edge, and Beeson turned it in to a foot race. And all you have to do right here, nicely blocked by Polite right there, and then Beeson tries to beat him. The ball hits the pylon, that's 6.
Dan Carpenter on for the extra point. 2 unanswered touchdowns by Miami. All set up by the defense, Matt, and the sacks on Delhomme. Then the punt return by Devon Best to give Tony Sperano and the Dolphins great field position. And then they execute with Ricky Williams.
Well, you heard them talk in the pregame about he's got to be the Ricky Williams from New Orleans. He's that guy. He is running very, very well.
In 2002, Ricky Williams ran for 1,853 yards and earning a Pro Bowl spot. Tony Sperano saying that's a Pro Bowl-like play. Good job, Chad. You were on the sideline, but we love it. Well, Devon Best had the big punt return, first of all, and then he had a big third down reception over Chris Gamble.
That is a great catch. He just plucked that thing, came back to the ball under tight coverage, and it allowed that whole series to unfold, with eventually Ricky Williams getting the touchdown.
Tyrell Sutton on the return for the Panthers. Sutton to the 30. And got tripped up by Nathan Jones, or he'd still be running. So,
33 yards.
2 timeouts remaining for Carolina. 51 seconds to go.
32-yard line.
How about this? Ricky Williams in his 9th year out of Texas, first career game with a rushing and receiving touchdown. But you would have never figured that one out.
Well, you would have thought that would have happened before this. A great conversation we had with him last night, wasn't it? Very relaxed, knows who he is, comfortable with what he's doing right now, and excited to play today.
Give a lot of credit to Bill Parcells and a little pep talk he gave him concerning Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Delhomme over the middle, nearly intercepted by Jabril Wilson. And now are we getting the nervous Jake Delhomme? Actually, nearly picked up by Tyrone Colvin.
Now, I just think, you know, he had to go a little bit high. But Wilson's got to come down with that catch. He can't miss that thing. Oh, Colvin, I'm sorry, that was Colvin, 29.
Colvin is 4th year out of Fresno State. 2nd and 10 for the Panthers, with 46 seconds to go in the half. 14 unanswered by Miami. Delhomme pursued by Porter, who gets a hit on him and then throws it incomplete to Steve Smith.
You know, this is interesting. We said these teams are kind of a mirror of each other, and they're also using the same coverages, Bob. Now you're going to get man under 2 deep we saw from Carolina, and you're seeing the exact same coverage out of Miami. They're just running man. They have safety sitting over the top of them. That's a mistake right there on the inside. When you're locked up in man, you have to keep your eyes on the man.
Don't count the pressure that Joey Porter put on him. So 3rd and 10. Steve Smith in motion. Delhomme, Muhsin Muhammad short of the sticks. Great job by Sean Smith and Jabril Wilson to understand down and distance.
Yeah, that is a great job of jumping on top of it, and that shows you how strong Sean Smith is, because Muhsin Muhammad is a powerful man, and he held him up enough time and able to let his help come from the inside out, and that'll take us to the half.
Joey Porter with 2 sacks. Teddy Ginn getting set to return the second half kickoff from Reese Lloyd. So if you're John Fox, what do you tell your team at halftime? Missed tackles, breakdowns across the board.
I think you go back to what you do best, and that's run the football and control it.
Ginn about 3 yards deep. Ginn to the outside. Run out of bounds by Marshall at the 45-yard line. 48-yard return for Ted Ginn.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line. Fans, we would like to
Ricky Williams gets a touchdown at the end of the half, Matt. Well executed by the Dolphins.
Yeah, very well executed by that offensive line. And the one guy who they wanted to not get after, but they thought they had a good matchup with Julius Peppers, was on Jake Long. And Jake Long in the first half, he's won that battle.
So for the 2nd consecutive possession, Miami has good field position. They started at the 29 near the end of the 2nd quarter. And Ricky Williams takes the direct snap and picks up about 4 on the play. Niall Diggs on the tackle.
They start running that wildcat, and everybody talks about that wildcat. And all they really want to do is they want to win the numbers game in the running game. And it's about, you know, with the quarterback out, you have to account for him, so then it evens it up and it becomes 10 on 10. instead of 11 versus 10 when the quarterback's under center.
Henny back under center. Ricky Williams is going to lose a bunch there. Damian Lewis on the tackle.
Let's take a good look at the matchup, and you're going to see you got 5 on 5. So you like that matchup, and then you just get a hat on a hat. And then Lusaka with a nice job, Lusaka play with a nice job with the block, and then it's just a sprint to the end zone, and the Dolphins win the matchup.
Jake Grove, the center for Miami, shaken up on the last play as Ricky Williams lost 5 yards. So Joe Berger, the fifth-year pro, will come into the ball game. Jake Grove in his 6th year out of Virginia Tech. Started 12 games for the Raiders last year, but he's going to limp off here in the 3rd. 3rd and 11 for Henny and the Dolphins. Just throws it away as he took a hit by Everett Brown. By the way, Jake Grove went out with an injured left ankle. They're working on him on the Dolphins bench.
Well, there's enough time to be able to find something down the field. Henny can't find it, and then Everett Brown is able to get to him. He couldn't find it because there was good coverage down the field.
Brandon Fields in the punt. Captain Munnerlyn lets it go over his head, and it kicks into the end zone for a touchback. Panthers start from their own 20. D'Angelo Williams tackled by Channing Crowder. It's a loss of a yard. Had a chance to visit with Channing yesterday. He said, look, Carolina's run based. They got 2 great backs. Read our keys and go get them. Carolina trying to pick up the pace here. Down 11 with a 2nd and 11. Little crease for Williams. It's a foot race with Jeremiah Bell. And Bell brings him down at the 31-yard line.
But not before he chews up some major real estate. And it's real simple. It all starts up front in that offensive line. Jake Delhomme sees it. It's just a draw. Well blocked, and then Williams round the outside down the left side. Steve Smith helps his buddy out there getting himself a block. But it all started because Jake Delhomme saw both safeties sitting deep, which gives him a number advantage up front, and he can get after it.
Gain of 50. Now Jonathan Stewart trying to find the cutback lane, and does. Takes it to the 25, a gain of 6. Jabril Wilson on the tackle.
And that's a great example of this is called pressing the hole. You're going to watch Jonathan Stewart right here. What that means, he's going to take it up inside and force the defense to have to define what they're going to do. Once he sees the flow, then he breaks it out the backside. But it all happens because he first presses it up inside and then breaks.
2nd and 4. They feed Stewart again. This time Miami able to shut it down as Randy Starks made the tackle after a gain of 1. Angelo Williams coming back in for Stewart.
You know, you said at the end of the first half, as a coach, what you're going to have to do, and this is exactly what they have to do. Go back to running the football. That's what they do well.
Miami subbing
Snap
people
the ball.
out.
That's Jake Delhomme had a chance right there to get them off guard and just snap the ball.
Instead, he slowed it down to a point where Miami gets settled. 3rd down for Delhomme. Over the middle, intercepted. Nathan Jones gets the pick at the 5. And that sequence, Matt, all on Delhomme. He could have snapped the ball and gotten the automatic first down with Miami scattered. Then he throws the pick.
Again, this is the same coverage we've seen all night. They are just undercut. They're going to undercut Steve Smith. You're going to watch it. Man under, and you have 2 safeties over the top. See him sitting there? That's just a poor throw. It's a poor throw. Jones just takes him, and you get in a trail position. And then the ball comes up, and it's, you know, that's like stealing right there.
14th interception for Delhomme. Nate Jones in his 6th year out of Rutgers with his 2nd pick of the season. From the 4, Ricky Williams gets it out of the end zone and gets a hard half-yard. Gerard Martin on the tackle.
They brought pressure up inside. That's a pretty good job by Ricky Williams to get what he got there. Jake Delhomme did everything right that they wanted him to do. They picked up the big run. They picked up another run. They get to the 3rd down, and then he has a chance right there. Just get the ball snapped, and you're getting automatic first because they're running in and out, and they have people off, not set, and he lets that one pass, and then he makes the errant throw.
2nd and 9 for Chad Henne. Devon Bess made Harris miss, and he takes it out to the 11, gain of 6. All right, go back to the interception once again, Matt.
Well, it's a coverage that we've been talking about all night. Now, here's the front end of it. See, people are running on and off right there. Get him to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball, it's an automatic first down. Poor awareness. Then he waits a little bit, he identifies the mic, they get the coverage, and he throws it back underneath.
And the umpire wouldn't let him snap the ball. He was standing over the football.
And that's a rule, actually. That's a good job by the umpire. I'm wrong on that then. Because he has to allow them to be able to substitute freely.
Still could have snapped it quickly. Miami would have had too many men on the field. Henne on a 3rd down to the sideline, and he's got the first down to Ted Ginn on Chris Gamble. So a gain of 5.
And Henne with a nice throw, putting it where only Ginn could make the throw. Low into the outside. Watch, he's going to roll him out, and then has to be down and away.
He caught it off the knee, and he maintained control. He didn't move the ball as he got knocked out of bounds. He kept it pinned to his knee. Now, false start against Miami.
Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Let's take another look at that catch by Ted Ginn. He controls that ball against his leg before he gets knocked out of bounds.
Watch where the ball is thrown, placed back outside. Watch, he just pins it. There's control the whole way. And he rolls out of bounds.
So a great job by Teddy Ginn there to get the first down. Now it'll be 1st and 15 for Miami after the false start. Ricky Williams hit by John Beeson and brought down after a gain of 2.
John Beeson, one of those middle backers who's very, very active, about 235 to 40 pounds, runs very well, does a good job of reading things. But most important, he's kind of like Steve Smith. He's one of those guys who just plays with great intensity and kind of picks everybody else up. You feed off him.
Lex Hilliard has come in for Williams on the 2nd and 13. Slip, and he's ruled down by contact as Landon Johnson got a hand on Hilliard. So that'll set up 3rd down for Miami. Jake Delhomme throwing an interception in the red zone. 3rd and 12 for the Dolphins. Here's an interesting stat for you, Matt. On 3rd down attempts of 9 or more yards tonight, Miami is 2 for 3. They've hit on a 3rd and 16 and a 3rd and 9, failed on a 3rd and 11. They have a 3rd and 12. Hilliard in motion. Give it off on the inside, and Polite coughed it up, and it's recovered.
Looks like Peppers.
Miami.
Yeah, looks like Peppers forced that ball out, and it did. He put it on the ground.
But Nate Garner recovered it.
Yeah, Garner came down with the ball, but right there, boom, hand right on top of it. Looked like the cast hand.
And then Nate Garner, number 75, pounced on it to save the turnover. Brandon Fields in the punt for Miami. Good punt by Fields, Captain Munnerlyn from the 38. hit by Jabril Wilson and tackled at the 42-yard line. Culver was also down there to help make the tackle. Delhomme to throw. Deep middle, incomplete. He tried to hit Dante Rosario. Jeremiah Bell closed in. Matt, Delhomme started 5 of 9 for 55 yards. Since then, he's now 2 for 10 for 9 yards, sacked twice, and an interception.
That time, it looked like he was just trying to force it back inside to Rosario, and he doesn't have to. If it's not there, just get rid of it.
On a 2nd and 10, D'Angelo Williams again finding room on the left side, and he gets 9.
Hey, just at power O, you got Kedrick Vincent, 68, pulling for the right side around. And you just follow 68. They've had success with that all night long. Here goes Kedrick Vincent, 68, nicely blocked on the front side.
Carolina with a 3rd and 1. They're 1 for 2 on 3rd and 1s tonight. Stewart in, takes the handoff, and he is not going to get there. Jabril Wilson cleans it up after Randy Starks got the first hit, along with Channing Crowder.
Phil Merling was there. That was just good defense. They just won the battle at the line of scrimmage. Got off the ball. Just watch him get off the ball. Look which way the line of scrimmage is moving. Moving backwards. Starks the first one to hit him, and then everybody comes in to clean up.
So Carolina, known for their running, now 1 for 3 on 3rd and 1s, and they'll have to punt again with 4:50 to go in the 3rd. Devon Bess back deep, waiting for Jason Baker punt. So if they can draw Miami off sides, they remain disciplined. Bess lets it bound over his head, and this one will be spotted out at the 7-yard line. Miami with the football, and a 1st and 10. They have a 14-3 lead. 4th time tonight, Miami will start inside their own 20. Devon Bess in motion. Henny, middle of the field. Got Hartline for a 1st down out to the 22-yard line, gain of 12.
Well, it's fun to watch Chad Henne just grow here. And you can see, I've been watching him actually for a long time. He grew up in Pennsylvania, went to Wilson Westlawn High School. My brother coached against him when he was just a kid. And when he was in high school, my brother's team played, and my brother sent me a tape and said, I want you to watch this and tell me what you think about it. I watched the tape, and I said, that's a great kid. Where's he going to college? He said he's 14, he's a freshman.
Draw play to Ricky Williams, and Williams takes it to the 24, gain of 6. You know, we were talking with Ricky Williams yesterday, and he said, Coach Parcells constantly drilling in my head. Bill Parcells, of course, the director of all the football operations that is Miami, said, you've got to trust the scheme. Watches every practice, live, then on tape. Trust the blocking. And then he told him an Elvis Presley story about how Elvis took 10 years off. He was nervous about performing live, wondered if he still had it. Ricky said, you got to know yourself. Go out and play. With him now having to be the lead dog with Ronnie Brown out, do you still have it, Ricky? He's shown he does tonight. Slant, drop by Janos.
Nice by Niall Diggs.
Yeah, that's over. Diggs got shaken up.
Yeah, but not before he had a good defensive play. Because Janos has a chance to make that catch, and Niall Diggs just strips his arms down.
Well, both of these teams in desperate need of a win at 4 and 5, 3:09 to go in the 3rd. Miami up 14-3, 3rd and 4 for the Dolphins. Henne can't find Hartline. Captain Munnerlyn on the coverage.
Same coverage we've been seeing all night long. Bob, both teams, they're just running that man under and 2 deep. And what that does, it forces you as a quarterback, you've got to be very accurate, number one. But the other thing it does is it leaves you susceptible if a quarterback takes off and runs, because all your defenders' backs are turned.
Fields the punt. Munnerlyn from the 32. Hit high and knocked down at about the 39-yard line. Now the officials checking things out with 2:30 to go.
There's our friend Boomer Esiason over there doing the radio
on Westwood 1. Always good to see Boomer.
He's a good man. Always have fun with the boom.
Officials trying to get the clock straight. John Fox hoping his team can get straightened out. Took the opening drive, marched downfield, but threw the ball on first and goal, second and goal, and third and goal.
Please
settled
reset
to
the
a
game
field goal.
clock to 2:46. 2:46 on the game clock, please.
And that is the only scoring for Carolina from that opening drive.
So right now, if you're the Carolina Panthers, what do? You get back to your running game, play your play action. Don't try to force anything if you're Jake Delhomme, and try to get the ball. If you can, if he's there, you got to get the ball into the hands of Steve Smith.
Smith in motion. Stewart the tailback. 10 carries, 37 yards for Stewart. Delhomme. And he finds the aforementioned Smith to the Miami 41, gain of 20.
And that's what they have to do. And he's open, and he's not forcing anything. So what you do is you just go ahead and you take Steve Smith and you run him. First, get him in motion, and you expand the zone. All it is a 3-deep zone. And then you sit him down in a hole, and that's what he does very, very well.
Smith, 4 catches for 38 yards. Delhomme, 8 for 20 for 84 yards and an interception. From the Miami 41. Stewart plows his way inside the 40. And it'll mark his progress to the 35, so a gain of 6. Channing Crowder and Aiken Adele on the tackle. Dave DeGuglielmo trying to sort things out with his offensive line.
He's got to be happy with that offensive line tonight, in particular Jake Long, when he's working over there on Julius Peppers. They've not gotten a sniff of Henning. It's been a good night for that offensive line.
Googe, a fiery guy, enjoying his time in Miami and working with this group. D'Angelo Williams, 11 carries, 101 yards, back in. Delhomme finds Williams, trying to turn the corner, and does. And he gets pushed out of bounds at the 27-yard line, gain of 8 in the first down.
Yeah, this is good. I want you to take a good look at Steve Smith. You're going to watch him on the backside. He is a pure football player. He just looking for guys to hit. I mean, he'd be a great defender. I'd love to put him at safety.
And the smart thing that he did, remember with the rule change, he did not go high. He went right into the chest of Channing Crowder.
You don't have to worry about him. That guy is that's my favorite player in the National Football League. I love the way he plays.
First and 10, Carolina. Just inside the Miami 27. Williams trying to bounce it out. Williams inside the 10 and knocked down at the 8-yard line. What a run by D'Angelo Williams.
That is a great run. And we just talked about it. What do you go back to? You go back to running the football. That's what you do well. Watch on the backside. Boom, he tries to get to the edge, can't get there, and then it's just vision. And you can't teach this. You either have that or you don't.
Sean Smith missed the tackle at the point of attack. 12 carries, 119 yards for Williams. Stewart now in at tailback. First and goal, Carolina. Stewart gains nothing on what will be the final play of the third quarter. Joey Porter on the tackle. Jason Ferguson helped off on the final play of the third quarter. Big news here in Charlotte.
You're gonna watch him right here. That's Jason Ferguson, 95. And in order to have any kind of defense, you have to hold the point. And he does that fantastic. That time, looked like he held it fine. I don't know. He's limping off. I don't know what got him.
So they'll check on Ferguson. Tony McDaniel in at the nose, 4th-year player out of Tennessee, acquired in a trade from Jacksonville. We start the 4th, 2nd and goal, Carolina. They trail by 11. Delhomme got hit, can't find King. As Delhomme had a hand on his back, Porter got pressure.
And he had King open. Tight end comes open in the middle of the field, but he can't get there because of the pressure. You see Jeff King right there, tries a little not out, but Porter gets his hand on him.
So Carolina will have 3rd and goal from the 8. Between 5 and 8 yards tonight. They're 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. Delhomme 9 of 22 for 93 yards and an interception. Dwayne Jarrett has come in as a receiver to the bottom of your screen. Delhomme under pressure, sacked for the 4th time. Randy Starks gets the sack.
They're not getting any help with your tackles at all because by formation, you don't have anybody. And watch, you're going to release the tight end, so it's 5-on-5, but he just beat up top by Ota, gets beat fast. And then Starks just pushes from the inside out.
Casey in to try a 33-yard field goal. Jason Baker to hold to make it an 8-point game. And Casey knocks it through. Teddy Ginn will take a knee with 14:21 to go in the 4th quarter, and Miami in front 14-6. A couple of Ricky Williams touchdowns in the 2nd quarter, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. Gave Miami a 14-3 lead at the half. Carolina has added a field goal in the 4th quarter.
Well, the whole 3rd quarter belonged to Carolina. They played good defense. They held them. They had good field position. They just only put 3 points up on the board.
The Delhomme interception in the red zone, huge. Ricky Williams, 14 carries, 45 yards. Henny, Ginn along the sideline, and they call it a good catch at the 37-yard line.
That's a heck of a throw and an excellent catch by Ted Ginn coming back to the football.
Gain of 17 on the play.
Yeah, listen to Deion Sanders on the pregame show. He's talking about Ted Ginn has to work at it and he has to become a big-time receiver. But plays like that, that's what gives you a chance to become a big-time player. 4
catches for 32 yards as they take Jason Ferguson into the X-ray room. 1st and 10, Ricky Williams taking on defenders. Gerard Martin knocked him down after a gain of 7.
Yeah, but did you see on the front end of that? Polite, the fullback, nice block. Nice physical block. The backer filled real fast, and Polite just met him just the way you're supposed to. Watch the fullback right here, number 36. Look at that. Boom, right there. That's a heck of a block. And then that just clears the hole. Right there.
Ricky Williams, 15 carries, 52 yards. Second and 3. Ricky Williams tripped up. Got back up and got it to the 42-yard line, so he'll lose about a yard.
Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator for Carolina, dialing up a couple of pressures. He's dropping people down. Dropped the safety down, and they're attacking up front. They're trying to create this.
Lex Hilliard comes back in the ball game as Williams goes out on a 3rd and 4. Miami with a 3rd and 4 here in the 4th. Between 2 and 4 yards, they're 1 for 3 on 3rd downs. 5 of 11 overall. Henny got Devon Best for a 1st down to the 49-yard line, a gain of 7. 5th catch for Best for 48 yards.
Yeah, he's just working on Richard Marshall, number 31 right there. And again, it's the same old coverage. It's man under, 2 deep. Devon Best, Marshall gives him a 2-way go. And any guy like Devon Best who has 2-way, that's a tough route to stop.
Henny 16 of 27 now, 157 yards. Ricky Williams back in at tailback in the I.
See, they drop the safety down again. They're crowding the line.
Williams finds a crease, has a 1st down, picks up 11 before Niall Diggs drags him down.
They're just being physical. Miami right there in this series right here, they are just being more physical than Carolina. And you can see what they're doing. They're dropping the safety down right here. So they got 8 people up here. And it's just going to be a numbers game. It's a man on a man, and then it's just Ricky Williams. See how he had his vision? Beeson jumped to the one side. He took it back the other way.
1st and 10 Dolphins at the Carolina 40. Williams again with some room. Knocked down at the 35-yard line. Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator, not pleased.
Well, this is good physical football, and this is what it comes down to. I mean, this is, you know what's going to happen. You're dropping the 8th man down. It's just going to be man versus man. And the guy who's impressive is Lusaka Polite, the fullback. He just gets after it.
Landon Johnson shaken up.
You watch him, 36. Boom, right there on Landon Johnson, and that's why he's shaken up, or shaken up rather. And he knows it. You can see him. He's excited about it. Just play good and physical. It's you versus me. I win. The best part of that is when you're in the middle of that and you're being physical and you know you own him, there's nothing they can do.
You know, you asked Jason Taylor yesterday, if you were to go into a foxhole, which teammates would you want to take with you? And he mentioned Ronnie Brown, Joey Porter, and Lusaka Polite. He went to the same high school, Woodland Hills High School, as Jason Taylor, was a classmate with Jason's sister. He said, that is my guy.
Well, it's easy to see why. Polite just lining up. You watch him, that's where the ball's going.
Lex Hilliard takes the handoff. Hilliard fighting for the first down. He'll be about a yard short. John Beeson on the tackle with James Anderson.
Yeah, just not being very polite is what his name should be. He's blocking Nile Diggs all over the place.
Ricky Williams comes back in. Miami, only their 2nd, 3rd, and 1 of the night. They're 1 for 1. They've hit 19 of 20, 3rd and 1 plays, highest percentage in the NFL. They give it to Polite. He's got the first down, but there is a flag on the play. Lusaka Polite 8 for 8 this year on 3rd and 4th and 1s. So if you study trends, Carolina should have been thinking Polite.
Offside, number 90, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It didn't help him. You line up in the neutral zone or not. Tony Sperano likes what he sees of that offensive line and how they're coming off the ball, and they're being very physical.
It's the first accepted penalty against Carolina tonight. Miami has 3. Not bad on a short week.
Oh, it's great.
4 accepted penalties combined. And now Joe Berger, who came in for the injured Jake Grove at center, is shaken up here in the 4th. Miami leading it by 8. Jake Grove was looking all over for his helmet. Where's my helmet? Where's my helmet?
They took it on him.
Yeah, they don't want him back in the ball game. So Smiley, who started the game on the bench, is in at left guard. Garner, who started the game at left guard, is in at center. So it's Long, Smiley, Garner, Thomas, and Carey up front for Miami. 2nd and 9. Henne fumbled the snap, and he'll lose a yard.
Yeah, and there's a different center right there. Yeah, he's been used the whole time. Just looked like the ball got away from him. Didn't look like Henne pulled out. You got to get used to each guy, obviously, and they not real thrilled with that.
Tony Sperano not pleased with the lack of execution, so they continue to work on Joe Berger. Grove is still out. He's got his helmet on. They won't let him back in the game. 3rd and 10 for Miami. They're 2 for 4 on 3rd downs of 9 or more yards. They'll give it off to Williams. Ricky Williams with yards after contact to the 19-yard line. Gain of 7.
Kick the field goal and keep it a 2-touchdown game.
2-possession game.
2-possession, right.
With approaching 8 minutes to go here in the ball game. Miami's only road win this year came in New York against the Jets. Dan Carpenter to try the field goal of 37 yards. He's 15 of 16 on the season. Has only missed from 49. Snap is good, and Carpenter's kick is good. Chad Henne working with Nate Garner on snaps. He'll be the third center that he's working with tonight. 11 plays, 61 yards. Clutch drive for Henne and the Dolphins. Garner was inactive for all 16 games last year. Originally came into the league as a 7th-round pick with the Jets. Acquired by Miami via waivers. Inactive all of last year. He starts tonight at left guard. Then he has to go to center after Jake Grove and Joe Berger both got hurt, as you saw Berger trying to test his ankle. Tyrell Sutton on the return to the 30 and out to about the 32-yard line. 29-yard return for Sutton. Yeah, how about you got to look at Jake Long, but how about Garner? He even played 2 plays at right tackle tonight when Vernon Carey got hurt.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that guy has to be. He has to be versatile and be able to play all the positions. He's done it well tonight.
Delhomme picked off once tonight. Draw play, D'Angelo Williams. Miami shuts it down after a gain of about 2. Joey Porter, who has 2 sacks tonight, got the first hit. But you get a look at Garner, you know, waiver guy last year, inactive. Hey, you're going to start at left guard. We need you to tackle. Carey's hurt. Hey, now you're the center. Go get it done.
Yeah, he's practiced it, so he knows that he's got to do it, and it's time for him to perform. Meanwhile, on the flip side, the clock becomes working against Carolina.
Delhomme finds Smith, good enough for a first down to the 46-yard line. Nate Jones on the tackle.
And so they've hurried up their pace, and they're going to the line of scrimmage. This is what they have to do, and they're comfortable doing it. They used it last week, and they used it early in this game. They had some success.
Sutton remains in to the right of Delhomme. Delhomme to the out.
Oh, boy.
And Sean Smith with good coverage on Dwayne Jarrett.
That's good coverage right there with Sean Smith.
Matt, Miami has really struggled in the 4th quarter this year as far as their defense is concerned. Last year, 62 points allowed all season in the 4th quarter. This year, through 10 games, counting tonight, 99. That's 31st in the NFL. Only the Bills have given up more in the 4th quarter.
And they got themselves an 11-point cushion here.
Second and 10. Delhomme works the middle of the field. Jeremiah Bell with the tackle on Dante Rosario. Matt, talk about the defensive philosophy. Fans always talk about, oh, the prevent defense prevents you from winning, but it's called the appropriate defense when you don't give up big plays.
Yeah, but that's not what they're doing here. This is not prevent. This is still that man under 2 deep stuff they've been running all day long.
Delhomme to take off and run.
Remember, we said that. That's one of the dangers of this. The defenders' backs are turned, and the quarterback is not accounted for. And so as you're taking your coverage and you're getting in that trail technique we showed, he can take off and beat you. And he does. That's good awareness.
First and 10, Carolina. Delhomme overthrows Jarrett again with 5:35 to go in the ball game. Let's take a look at the Delhomme scramble again, Matt, and explain to the fans what you mean by the coverage.
Well, you see, once you have your back to the wall, to your quarterback, then Delhomme sees that. He sees all the defenders' backs turned. You can see right there. Look at this. See, everybody, their back is turned. The safeties are the only ones who can see you, so you have a lot of green. You just go get as much as you can get.
Carolina with all 3 timeouts, 5:35 to go in the game. Second and 10, deep middle, nearly intercepted by Wilson, but a flag on the pass intended for Rosario.
Well, it looks like it's going to be, I don't know if they could have caught this thing. Rosario
Illegal contact, number
okay.
29, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Tyrone Culver called for the penalty.
They're going to watch. They just man it up on the outside. This time it's one free. There's a man in the middle, and they're manned up all the way around. Culver looked like he had a shot at that thing, or didn't have a shot at that thing, rather went over the top, and that's what Sperano's saying. He said that's an uncatchable ball, therefore it should not be a flag.
But you could make the case that the illegal contact prevented Rosario from getting deeper into his route, which would have made it look more catchable. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Delhomme under pressure, and that pass incomplete as he was under siege. Cameron Wake got the pressure. Cameron Wake, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the CFL. Originally went to the Giants as an undrafted free agent in 2005. 39 sacks in 2 years.
That's a heck of a player. It looks like he's been really well schooled. What school did he go to?
Penn State.
He went, oh, gee, there's a shot. Now that kid has a really good first 2 steps, and he has that burst that you look for. And he also jumps offside.
Good hard count by Delhomme. And it'll be on Wake.
Neutral zone infraction, number 91, defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Every time I talk about somebody from Penn State, they go ahead and do this. Yeah. He must have skipped that day of class. Told you had the first 2 good steps. That was them.
Key is to wait for the snap count. He'll find himself on the bench, at least for this play.
If you listen real closely, you can hear Joe Paterno still screaming at him.
2nd and 5 for the Panthers. Delhomme taking a shot for Smith. Touchdown. Beat Vontae Davis.
Oh, and he wanted to say something to Vontae Davis the worst way.
But
there's a flag. There's a flag on the field.
It's in the backfield as Steve Smith hauls in the 27-yard touchdown catch. With 5:18 to go.
The result of the play was a touchdown. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 68, offense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
That's Kedrick Vincent, their right guard. That'll be assessed later, but not before Steve Smith works on Vontae Davis, gets on the top side. Now watch him track it. That's a pretty well thrown ball, but an even better catch.
And how about the way he secures it? And then here's the penalty on Kedrick Vincent after the touchdown. Little elbow to Starks. Some pushing and shoving. But with that said, Matt, it's now 17-12, 5:18 to go. They're going to go for two here to try to get within the 1 score.
Exactly.
Carolina to try to get within the field goal. Carolina 1 for 1 this year. Their conversion, a pass to Steve Smith. D'Angelo Williams in at tailback. Jarrett in motion. Williams got it. And it's a 1-possession game with 5:18 to go. 5:18 to go in the ball game. Miami leading at 17-14 because of the Kedrick Vincent penalty. This could be huge after the touchdown. Reese Lloyd, who is a weapon when kicking off from the 30, 18 touchbacks on the season, will now kick off from his own 15, which will give Teddy Ginn a chance to return this kick. Kicks a liner, bobbled by Hartline. Hartline to the 41-yard line. Steve Smith, 6 catches, 76 yards, and the touchdown. So here comes Miami with 5:13 to go, leading by 3. Nate Garner stays in. Oh, they got Joe Berger back in at center. So Berger's back in, the backup center, Ricky Williams. He'll lose a yard. And John Fox burns his first time out with 5:06 to go.
Tank Tyler in the middle of that thing, but he may have made the tackle. As you see, another offensive lineman down. But I want you to watch Niall Diggs. He's the one who makes the play. He sets the edge on the outside. See him come into your screen at the end, and because he was able to set the edge, his people from inside out were able to stop him.
And how about Tank Tyler making the second half of the tackle with no helmet? And now Nate Garner is down. Garner, who started at left guard, played 2 snaps at right tackle, then moved to center when Jake Grove and Joe Berger got hurt, went back to his guard position. Berger's back in. Now Grove gonna have to come back in.
I think, yeah, they've got Smiley back inside.
Well, they don't have to put Grove in just yet with 5:06 to go. This has been a costly night for Miami. Jason Ferguson left with a knee injury. Grove's nicked up. Berger's nicked up. And now they're checking the right leg of Nate Garner. Carolina uses the first of their 3 timeouts. 5:06 to go. Dolphins by 3. Well, Justin Smiley back in the ball game to protect Chad Henne as we get a look at Nate Garner getting hurt, Matt.
Yeah, I want you to watch right there. See that? What happened? Damian Lewis came down on the inside while his foot was planted and clipped the knee. Looked like it would be hurt on the medial side. Back up and out there, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Now, because of the injury, Carolina gets their timeout back. John Fox had called the timeout, so they have all 3. 2nd and 11. Henne, incomplete, looking for Ginn. Pressure on Henne applied.
Got a little pressure off the edge, but they went man-to-man. Ron Meeks, the defensive coordinator for Carolina, he's rolling the dice a little bit. He's going to go man outside, and he's going to bring pressure. That time it worked. It sets up this 3rd and 12.
Ball sits on the 39-yard line of Miami. They have to get just across midfield. Miami 2 of 5 on 3rd downs of 9 or more yards. 0 for 3 in the second half.
Looks like they're sitting in the zone.
Henne has Devon Best wide open, who makes the catch. Couldn't keep his feet, or he might have been gone. 1st down, Miami.
That was all on Devon Best. They rolled to the right, and they played the zone, and they flooded the zone, and then Devon Best sees it. Watch him. You see him, number 15. He's going to see that sitting in the zone. Now watch him. Watch him. He just takes off and runs through the zone to where nobody was, and it's a big play. And nicely done by Henne to find it.
Boy, if he hits the front side of Devon Best, he's gone. 1st and 10, Miami. 4:05 to go. Ricky Williams. Chased by Martin. Ricky Williams. Touchdown. 46 yards for Ricky Williams with 3:55 to go.
And that's one of the dangers of getting everybody up at the line of scrimmage. Once you break that initial level and get to the 2nd level, it's just all speed. And Ricky Williams has enough of it left to be able to get into the end zone.
Ricky Williams, 22 carries, 119 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 2 running and 1 receiving. Carpenter knocks the extra point through. 10-point lead, Miami.
Remember what they said about Ricky Williams. He needs to play like he did when he was in New Orleans. And he gets by with a little help from his friends. It's called his offensive line. But once he gets to that 2nd level, it's just all Ricky Williams. Just coming right at you. Get a hat on a hat. Beeson gets too tight to the line of scrimmage, cannot redirect. Williams just threw the hole.
And then Sherrard Martin tried to go high, and Ricky Williams just shrugged him off. Tony Sperano loving it.
Looking more like a soprano than a Sperano.
Tell you another story about Ricky Williams. He said when Bill Parcells came in, Julius Peppers can't believe it. He made the speech to the team about troublemakers. Ricky said, I figured he was talking about me and I was gone. After the meeting, he called me up to the office. He said, I'm picking up the option of your contract. Coach Sperano's a no-nonsense guy. I know where they're all coming from. I'm on board. They have faith in me, and I want to return that faith to them, this staff. Carpenter with the kickoff. Sutton from his own 9. Sutton to the sideline as a flag comes raining in as he steps out at the 38-yard line with 3:49 to go.
During the return, holding number 42, the receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's Tony Fiametta, the fullback for Carolina. So the Panthers down 10 with 3:49 to go. Ricky Williams, 119 yards rushing.
I want you to see this. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in. You got 9 people in the box. Now, once you get past this level right here, now you're into the second level, and it's just your feet. And then power to finish it.
How about the block by the left guard, Justin Smiley? So he opened up that hole. Delhomme, Williams dropped it.
You think Tony Sperano is happy with the way Ricky Williams has played tonight? You better believe it.
Trust the scheme.
Yeah, he was talking. He said Bill Parcells was telling him, listen, you got to trust the scheme, but trust the block, that the blocks are going to be there. He said he would get impatient sometimes and not believe that 2 guys aside of each other pushing is a hole.
When you think about the injuries that they have dealt with the 2 centers going out at different points, Carey getting hurt, and they've stayed the course. Delhomme on a 2nd and 10. Finds his tight end Rosario. Channing Crowder on the tackle. 3:36 to go in the ball game.
There's still time here for this Carolina team to get right back in the middle of this thing. They got to get down here. They quicken the pace, get themselves 6 on the board.
1 for 3 on 3rd and 1 tonight for Carolina. Delhomme will keep it. He's got the first down to the 35-yard line. So Delhomme gains 6. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Delhomme to the 40. Muhsin Muhammad with the catch. Vontae Davis on the tackle. Carolina will use their first time out with 2:47 to go in the ball game.
Well, now we get a little bit of change here out of coverage for Miami.
Ricky Williams, the oldest player at 32 since 2004 with consecutive 100-yard rushing games. The bus, Jerome Bettis did it for Pittsburgh.
Ricky Williams, you know, as soon as he walked in last night, I said, you look like you lost some weight. And he said, no, I'm the same as I've always been. I said, what do you weigh? He said, I'm 230, 231, right around in there. And I said, no, you were bigger. He said, well, I mean, I used to be 250. I said, well, that would be some losing some weight. He cleaned up, and boy, he is running well. He looks quicker to me. He just looks like he's having fun, too.
Forget about shedding weight. How about him shedding tacklers tonight?
Oh, yeah.
2nd and 4 from the Panthers 41. Dolphins do not blitz. Delhomme with time. Delhomme, middle of the field. Sutton on the catch. He's got a first down to the 48-yard line. But the clock, a huge factor with Carolina down 10. 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning can stop the clock. Delhomme on 1st and 10. Sutton makes the catch. Sutton on Culver, and then he's run out of bounds. after he gets a first down. Good coverage downfield, Matt. What is Miami doing right now in their coverage to not allow the big play?
Yeah, well, earlier they went to man. They went one free man-to-man, but they just backed off. This time they were just playing, it looked like quarters across the board. And they're quarters, when you see quarters, you just really, you're taking the field and you're dividing it up in quarters across the back deep.
First and 10 from the 41. Delhomme, Smith, slip, touchdown at the 30, gain of 11.
Now there they check up and they go back to that man under two deep stuff.
That'll take us down to the 2-minute warning with the Miami Dolphins in front by 10, 24-14. Well, here in Carolina, Ricky Williams, 119 yards rushing on 22 carries. His 34th career 100-yard rushing game. At least one team with a 5-5 record or worse has made the playoffs in 21 of the last 22 years. One of these teams will get to 5-5 tonight. Miami's 2 minutes away from doing it. First and 10 for Delhomme. For Sutton, incomplete. Delhomme got some pressure.
Cameron Wake coming off the edge, and again the same coverage we talked about earlier. They're going man-to-man with the two safeties sitting over the top, and that makes it for tight coverage. You got to be very accurate with that throw.
Delhomme 17 of 35, 185 yards and a pick.
Now watch, you're going to see this same thing again. All they're manned up all across underneath with the safety sitting over the top. That has to be a very accurate throw.
Second and 10. Delhomme, nice play underneath by Jeremiah Bell, knocking it away from Dante Rosario.
You know, you get coverage like this, so you want to say, okay, if they're running this coverage all the time, how do you beat it? Well, anytime you get any kind of man underneath, you might want to go with a little bit of pick or a rub or something like that. Get a little bit of a cluster, and that forces you to have to back off a little bit. That's good. That's good coverage right there by Jeremiah Bell, just coming around the top and knocking the ball away. You want to be able to try to get the man defenders backed off a little bit. Now you're locked on up top.
Third and 10. They pick up the blitz. Beautiful play, batted away by Nate Jones.
Watch Nate Jones on the right side of your screen down here. Again, it's just locked up man-to-man. You're going to see him right down here. Hold the inside, take away the inside. Now play him to the outside. Break it back underneath. That's really well played.
So with a 10-point game as Jones, who had a pick earlier, knocks down the pass, Carolina will go for the field goal here from 48 yards. John Casey to make it a one-possession game. Get him within 7. Baker to hold. Casey just slips it through. That was a hook and a slice wrapped into one.
I couldn't believe it. That looked like he was going to go wide right, and then it almost missed it to the left.
That had a lot of movement on it.
Like you said, just tucked it right inside that goal post.
Coach Sparano thought it was no good, but it slipped inside that left upright. John Fox said that you had it all along.
All right, so now you set yourself up. How do you win this game if you're the Carolina Panthers? You're going to have to kick this onside kick.
So Carolina with 2 timeouts remaining, down 7. Hands team up for Miami as Reese Lloyd will try the onside kick. Now Miami is going to call a timeout with 1:41 to go. Don Bonamego, the special teams coach for Miami, brings his team over. Make sure everybody knows their exact assignments.
And also, they waited for the Panthers to go ahead and declare what formation they were going to get. Then they call a timeout. Now they'll make their adjustment.
Matt, they've changed the rules a little bit about having it more balanced.
You have to have so many guys inside the number and outside the number instead of just having one big mass coming down and mauling people.
Reese Lloyd getting set to put the onside kick into play. It's got to go 10 yards. It does. Executed perfectly by Miami. There is a flag on the play as Brian Hartline recovered it. In end of game situations, teams connect on the onside kick at 21%. 80% of the time the receiving team fields it cleanly. Miami will help that percentage. We'll check the flag first. Where it was thrown should be on Carolina.
All sides on the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed from the dead ball spot. It will be first down Miami.
That's actually another change of rules. It happened a while ago. You can see, look right down the line. There's the offside before it was kicked.
It was Dan Connor.
Dan Connor, number 55. Yeah, the Penn State guys are offsides all the time today.
Yeah, about what, 5-6 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, they added the simple 5. It used to be so unfair because the team that committed the infraction would get to re-kick it. Why should you get a chance to redo it when you committed the penalty? Carolina with 2 timeouts remaining. Hilliard hit by Harris, and he squeezes ahead for a yard. Carolina will burn their second timeout with 1:35 to go. Hilliard in the game, best in motion. They give it off for Lusaka Polite. Plows to the 30-yard line. Carolina will burn their final timeout. Jake Delhomme can only watch with 1:29 to go. Surprised Ricky Williams isn't in there, and it's Lex Hilliard. They give it to Lusaka Polite, who picks up a yard, and that's about it. But Carolina is out of timeouts now, so they'll use all the play clock. John Fox cannot stop the clock.
So you get down to about 45 seconds to this 4th down. Let it run all the way down. They'll take a timeout with the second left.
And how about this offensive line? With all the
Miami
injuries and what they've done, this will only be the 2nd time since Dan Marino retired that the Dolphins will not give up a single sack in back-to-back games. None against Tampa and none here on Thursday night. Grove got hurt, the starting center. Berger came in, he got hurt. Nate Garner went from guard to tackle the center. Berger came back in, Garner got hurt. Smiley came back in.
Now they played extremely well across the front. And the other part of that offensive line, which is really your extra offensive lineman, is Polite. Lusaka Polite had himself a heck of a game.
There's Dave DeGuglielmo in his first year as offensive line coach, working his group tonight. So now what do you do here, Matt? You have a 4th down and 3. Carolina's out of timeouts. You're up by 7. And you're in this kind of no man's land. You're obviously not going to try a field goal because if it gets blocked or it's missed, you give them great field position.
Yeah, you try to get the first down right here. I mean, you only have 7 yards, whatever it is, 7 or 8 yards, 8 yards to the 20-yard line, or he would try to pooch punt, but I'd try to get the first down, try to pick up the 4 yards and kill the game. End it right here.
Would be a 46-yard field goal. So Henne with Lex Hilliard at tailback. They give it to Hilliard, and he gets submarined by John Beeson. So Miami turns it over on downs. 39 seconds to go. Carolina out of timeouts, but they're down 7.
Well, now you know it's going to be a run play, so everybody's going to take the line of scrimmage. Watch Beeson come flying through right there. Everybody fills the gap. Polite takes on the safety. Beeson takes on the runner.
Really surprised that they didn't have Ricky Williams in. 39 seconds to go. Carolina out of timeouts. They trail by 7. DeLome, middle of the field, caught by Barnidge.
Gotta hurry up. You get to the line of scrimmage, and he's got to kill the clock right here.
Gain of 29. They'll spot it at the 43 of Miami.
Fast as you can. Get it, snap it.
And DeLome will spike it with 20 seconds to go.
He's got to get 6. He's got to take one more shot to about the 20-yard line. If he can get it and get out of bounds, and then he can take 2 shots to the end zone. You got 20 seconds. You might have 3 plays here because they're too long. You watch him just working right down the seam. That's a heck of a throw and a good catch.
He had to go back shoulder because Jeremiah Bell had inside position.
Exactly right. Barnidge just does a good job. Bell almost knocked that ball away.
1st and 10 for Carolina.
So you're going to force him to throw
2nd and 10,
into the field.
Barnidge again.
Got to hurry up. That offensive line's got to get up there.
Tackled at the 26.
Too much time. Too much time. Give yourself only one more play.
6 seconds to go. So for the 2nd week here on Thursday Night Football, we'll come down to a final play. 6 seconds remaining. Carolina out of timeouts. They trail by 7.
He's got to push it to the end zone, but he can take as much time as he likes. So he's got to get the protection. You'll probably see 4 deep back there, but he's got to find his way into the end zone with this. Can't throw it underneath.
Six seconds to go. Panthers down by 7. DeLome just heaves it up. And it's batted down. Tyrone Culver knocked it away, and the Miami Dolphins have won it 24-17.